Hey, this is Matt once again. What about 10 videos? Another paid request. It's time for Crease Mason. Thank you so much, Crease Mason. I apologize for the delay. Just been a lot of internet power laws. I apologize for the delay for people out there. Try and get to them as soon as I can. But this is for a review he wanted for After Hours, 1985 film. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, re-reviews, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, I thought I had this film, but sadly I did not. I know there's a new release. I forget it was Arrow Video that came out. Maybe one day I'll pick that up. But when the internet was working for a bit, it's working okay now, thankfully. I was able to watch it, and After Hours, I've always liked. I do like the film. It's a Martin Scorsese film. I think this is around the time he was doing Last Temptation of Christ. Of course, well after he did Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. The film didn't do the best when it came out. I think it made like 10 to 13 million at the box office, so it didn't really light everything on fire. Although it got a lot of good critical notices. I think Roger Ebert put it as top 10 of the year. And it's a really good cast. Griffin Dunne from American Werewolf in London. He was the guy that gets attacked by the werewolf and comes back as the dead guy. Ward in the lead. Hey, you better end your life, otherwise things are going to get worse. You also have John Hurd. May he rest in peace. Of course, he was the dad in Home Alone. He was in Chud. A lot of movies. Cheech and Chong. I always keep forgetting Cheech and Chong are in this. It's weird to say Cheech and Chong are in a Martin Scorsese film, but they are. Dick Miller, may he rest in peace, and he's in here in a bit part. Bronson Pinchot, Serge in Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 3. He's in this at the very beginning of the film. Rosanna Arquette, Linda Fiorentino, Will Patton in a very, very small role. Catherine O'Hara, who's the mom in Home Alone. A lot of recognizable people in this. It pretty much is about Griffin Dunne's character. He's an office worker, helping Bronson Pinchot with his job. At present, Bronson Pinchot has to easily, quickly say, well, I'm not going to stay here forever. I mean, I don't want to stay here forever. I mean, I want to be a publisher. And you could tell that kind of bothers Griffin Dunne. Like, yeah, I probably don't be here forever. Yeah, good for you, buddy. So, as he gets home, and it's a pretty kind of easy going, but maybe boring existence. Nice apartment. I forgot they had this back in the day with changing of the channels, that there'd be a device that you click on like this. Because I'm so used to like a remote control, but no, like this big box, you. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot all about those. Damn. To change the channel. Because, yeah, just back today, either you go up and you click, 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 or you have these big boxes, you have to press them down. But one day he goes to the cafe and he meets this girl played by Rosanna Arquette. Things seem to go well. He calls her. She invites him over. Okay, it seems like a fun date. And pretty much everything that can go wrong does go wrong. Now, I will admit, even when I first saw this and watched it again, the first 20, 30 minutes, I'm thinking, do I really like this film as much as I remember? But I think it's right when you get into sort of the middle to the end of this date, and you realize things are going south pretty south real quick, and the awkwardness rises. The awkwardness of he's with this person, and yeah, I don't think this is going to work out, and I think I'm going to have to get the fuck out because of all this weird behavior she's showcasing. And then when he leaves, and it just, again, anything that could go wrong does go wrong. Maybe, like, compared to other movies, because there's been other movies where it's one night and everything goes crazy, and it's even much more zanier, or much more sillier, or much more insanity. this is still playing to. It's still crazy, but I don't know. It's not like Harold and Kumar go to White House where it's one night and oh shit, there's a fucking freak show and there's a cheetah they ride on. It's not like that. It's Scorsese, so it's gonna be much more down to earth compared to that. But it's still some crazy shit that happens. From he's in the cab and his fucking $20 goes out the window to meeting these people, Rosanna Arquette and her roommate Linda Fiorentino. Linda Fiorentino, she was in the first Men in Black film, which seemed like she was going to be in sequels, but then they didn't bring her back. And then they like to deal with sculptures to Rosanna Arquette acting weird. Like she'll ask him, "Did you say something?" "No, I didn't say anything." "Well, I thought you said something." "No, didn't say anything." To her talking about how she had been assaulted in this very room and that it was her boyfriend. To at one point they'd go out and then she's crying in the stairs. And then there's this idea that maybe she has these burn marks and he finds this thing about solve, like stuff to use for burns. And then he has this memory of being in a burn ward. And you don't hear him tell the full story, but you get the gist of it. That he saw some burn victims and it horrified him as a kid. So I think, okay, well, what kind of burn marks does she have? And, you know, I have these memories as a kid, so I don't know if I could deal with that. And I think she's acting so weird. Pretty much get to a point of, this is shit pot. You do a shit pot. I need to get the fuck out of here. It was an asshole thing for him to do, but he does try to apologize later at least, so at least there's that. And like I said, anything that could go wrong does go wrong. And you get this sense of awkwardness, urgency, paranoia, although it's not paranoia if they're actually out to get you. It seems like this guy's just stuck in this urban hell and this one night that he cannot fucking escape. And I think Scorsese does a nice job with some of the direction of the film, some of the way he showcases the camera, the steady shots that are incorporated. Even like the very beginning at work where you have this kind of upbeat music and you see sort of the crazy stuff going on at work and the camera thrown around, and then as he's out of work things slow down a bit. And I thought Griffin Dunn did a good job. It's kind of sad that after this, he didn't do a whole lot. I mean, think about it. Oh, you get to be the star of a Martin Scorsese film. You know, Robert De Niro and other people did that. And Martin Scorsese, even at that time, was considered one of the best directors. And again, you get to be the lead. And then he didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, what was that film? Big Girls Don't Cry, They Get Even. Which, there was an... It was originally called Step Kids, and I remember it was in the... I want to say Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze VHS tape. I watched that over and over again. I would see that trailer like 100 times. I think it was Step Kids, but then became Big Girls Don't Cry, They Get Even. Which I think was a worse title, but... yeah, I know Griffin Dunn's in that film. I think he's directed... I want to say he directed that Matthew Broderick Meg Ryan film, Addicted to Love. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I know he's directed some stuff, but... I thought he did a good job as this just normal, regular guy stuck in this fucking urban hell he can't escape. Everywhere he turns. He wants to take the train, but the price ran up to $1.50, and he only has like 97 cents. He goes to a bar as John Hurd owns the bar. There's a waitress, Terry Dar, who wants help because he hates his job, but it's like, hey, what am I going to do about it? John Hurd's a nice guy, I'm going to give you the money, but the cash register is broken. Wait, I can't give you the keys to my place, what am I talking about? And I can't leave my job. hey, how about, you know what, I got my teas here. Which I wouldn't still take it anyway. For all you know, that tea could be something he bought or stole from someone else, and he tricks your ass as well. I would assume that Griffin Dunn would have given like his driver's license. Like, here's my driver's license. That's where I live. Everything in between. That seemed like it'd be a bit more understandable than maybe trust a stranger than tease. Although I guess he could just show this could have been all a ploy from Griffin Dunn all along. He could have given a fake ID as well. But this is 1985, so maybe you're a little bit more trustworthy with your neighbors. Maybe a little bit. But he tries to go in there, and then things don't work out. Because, like, the toilet doesn't flush. Which I thought there was going to be something more where the toilet doesn't flush and that was going to come back later. It doesn't, though. Well, actually, it does work out because he does get the tea leaves, but then he sees these guys, Cheech and Chong, stealing stuff, gets the sculpture that he saw, goes back to Linda Fiorentino, and she goes, "Oh no, we sold that." But then later on, you find out Cheech and Chong actually are the thieves. They actually are stealing other shit. That would just happen to be one of the few things they bought. But they actually are stealing shit. But then Griffin Dunn gets blamed for that. And this is the point where, spoilers, he goes up to apologize to Rosanna Arquette. But she fucking died because she OD'd. And that's where you get Will Patton, who, I mean, he would go on to be in Armageddon. He was in the new Halloween films as the sheriff. Halloween, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, as a sheriff. That you thought they were going to do something with him because he dies, but he didn't die because somehow in Halloween Ends he survived. I mean, Halloween Kills, he survived, getting stabbed a bunch of times and run over by a fucking car, but somehow he's alive. Just to have him do nothing in Halloween Ends? What the fuck? I guess him and Jamie Lee Curtis going to be an item? I guess that's the only reason? Fuck. I guess. He's there as like a sort of a dom, like a dominating guy with all this shit wearing on. But he's only in for like a minute. So again, Griffin Dunn tries to apologize and goes, "Hey, you know what? That wasn't right of me. I'm very sorry about that." But she OD'd. Then he tries to warn people. They already left to a club. So he's, what the fuck is he gonna do? There's an obstacle in every fucking way that he goes. He tried getting that club. He can't get into it. He finally does. It's a punk club that tries to fucking shave his head with a goddamn rake or whatever the hell it was. I mean, it was a shaver, but might as well be a rake ready to cut in his fucking forehead. He goes to Terry Dar, and she's hampering on him, and he's like, "I don't want a girlfriend right now." Then he tries to get to John Hurd, but then John Hurd gets a phone call that his girlfriend OD'd, and it's the same girl, Rosanna Arquette. There's the same person. It's like, what in the world is how that fucking works? The guy that he needs that could get him the bus fare to leave, or subway fare to leave, he happens to be the boyfriend. Does that mean he was the one that assaulted Rosanna Arquette, or was that maybe a different boyfriend she was mentioning? I don't know. And then, so now he's, of course, affected by his girlfriend ODing and dying. And as someone goes, "Well, it's not your fault, Griffin Dunn. You didn't do it." And Griffin Dunn doesn't say anything because, I guess in a way you could say he inadvertently did, because, but at the same time he thought the day was going up shit creek. He left. He said, "Fuck this, I'm gone." And then there's this ice cream driver, Catherine O'Hara, which, okay, I'll help you, I got a truck, I'll get you home. But then there's these wanted posters showing his face as a burglar, and that's because Terry Dar was pissed that he didn't want to go out with her. So then she, as an asshole, fucking Amber Heard of herself, decided to fucking fuck with him and accuse him of crimes he didn't commit. And he's just on the right. It pinpoint the scene that pinpoints the insanity is he's hiding, and he turns and he looks through a window and he sees someone shoot someone, a lady a lady shooter man with a gun. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? He doesn't say that, but I'll interpret it. That's what he's doing. What the fuck is going on? Until ultimately he's kind of just out of it. He goes to a club that's almost empty, dances with this lady. She helps him by putting, and he spoils this paper mache on him. And then he gets stolen by Cheech and Chong, and they're driving so crazy, he falls out, and he dusts himself off, and he's right at work again. Right at work again. Sits down in his work chair. He's right back to work. He hasn't stopped to wink. But hey, he's safe now. He's away from the insanity. Granted, I don't know if those wanted posters are up and cops going to try to search for him. Although they don't know where he lives, and this is 1985. This isn't today where you just go on the internet and find shit. But I would maybe be on TV. Will he still be looked at, cops looking after him? Like, those kind of plot points kind of are up in the air. Because, okay, these wanted posters are up. If they give one to the cops don't have it on TV. Then maybe Linda Fiorentino sees that, goes, wait a minute, that guy was with Rosanna Arquette, and she OD'd. What if he has something to do with it? Does that mean he's going to get a visit from the cops? So it does leave some stuff up in the air that makes you question, but at the same time the movie doesn't want to think about that. It makes it seem as if everything's over, everything's going to be back to normal. I'm like, well, wait a minute, what about this? So that's a little bit bothersome. Maybe if it wasn't for the wanted posters and the Terry Dar stuff. Because honestly, like, that Terry Dar stuff was probably the least interesting part to me. I would have preferred maybe a bit more of Cheech and Chong. Like, maybe he actually talks with them and, oh yeah, we're not thieves and blah blah blah. And then behind his back, you realize they are the thieves. Like, I would have preferred Griffin Dunn actually having some back and forth with Cheech and Chong. Cheech and Chong I love Cheech and Chong. I'm a huge fan of them. Love Up and Smoke in next movie especially. And, you know, they pop up every once in a while, but I feel they were a bit underused. Again, get rid of the Terry... You could have just thought... Because they do set up that Griffin Dunn went up to the apartment of John Hurd, and when he came back down, oh, who are you? I've never seen you in this building. Let's say he gave me the keys, alright. Then he goes back there later. Wait a minute, you were here before. And then they chase after him. That alone could have... Word would have spread, and then maybe they don't know what he looks like, and they do a shitty sketch, and blah blah blah. So that could have been more handled. But Terry Dar, who knows how to draw and draws like an almost exact copy of his face, the Terry Dar stuff I didn't think was that interesting. I think that could have been thrown out, and I would have preferred a scene of, again, Griffin chatting with Cheech and Chong. Cheech and Chong utilized a bit more. Yeah, I would have preferred that. Maybe a little bit more insanity with maybe Griffin Dunn having to get in a fight with someone and getting like punched a bit. And then maybe some kind of come to Jesus moment where he finally snaps and punches someone. He's crazy, man. He's crazy. Yeah, I am crazy. Been one hell of a night. I'm the crazy motherfucker in the city. I really see Griffin Dunn go out, you know, I don't take this shit anymore. So maybe a little bit of that would have been nice to be added in. I do like the music used at the end when he's this upbeat music at the beginning and end of the movie. That's a good opposition to the more paranoid nature of the middle section of the film. I do like the way Martin Scorsese shoots the ending where he's kind of like in his sanctuary in a way, which is work, and the way the camera's spinning around, and you kind of seeing Griffin does here to relax. It's like this is his, the place that he's stuck at became his safe sanctuary now. Like forget the limelight, forget the city life. I'll stick with the boring shit. Which honestly, for some, not all, but for some of us, that is the reality. And I think also for a lot of people, including me, to relate to Griffin Dunn's character, where there's a party that wants some excitement and wants some craziness, but then when you get it, you realize, you know what, this isn't actually what I want. I actually miss the simplicity of it. And so when that comes back, you breathe a sigh of relief. And also when it seems like a day or a week or a month, we've all had, every single every single person watching this have felt this. There's been a day or a week or 2 weeks or a month where you feel like every single thing that could go wrong has and will go wrong. And you watch this guy go through it and you can relate to it, so you can kind of live vicariously through this guy and go, I know how you feel, pal. I know how you feel. I know the feeling. Almost like a weird form of therapy. And like I said, while the first 20-30 minutes, well, the first 20 some minutes, not really sure where this is heading, and the very end, there's a little bit of, they're not plot holes, but like kind of things up in the air that doesn't really get settled. Again, is that picture going to be on the news? Is he going to be arrested? Is he going to be accused? Oh wait, Lydia Fiorentino or Will Patton recognize him on the news? That's kind of left up in the air for you not to think about. But overall, this is still a fun movie that I wouldn't really say I got a lot of laughs out of. I know it's looked at as a black comedy. There's a few little chuckles here and there. All the kind of the type of characters he goes up against. It's more of just this kind of exasperation of, fuck, what's going to happen next with this guy? Fuck, what's going to... I find more of an interesting journey than a laugh out loud funny movie. So that's it. I wouldn't say I thought this movie was hilarious or funny. So maybe as a black comedy, I don't know how successful that is. I like Griffin Dunn. I grew to like his character, relate to his character. And I thought his journey was just interesting to see what the hell wrong will happen next. In case with Scorsese's fairly nice direction of keeping the movie going when it gallops into the after hours, when it gallops into this paranoid stratosphere of the city, and just him going, what the fuck's going to happen next? How the fuck do I get home? And I'm interested to see how that journey takes place and how he's going to succeed in getting home. So that's the appeal for me with After Hours. So. But with that said, I do enjoy it. I do think it's... I don't know what my favorite Martin Scorsese film would be. It'd probably be between The Wolf of Wall Street and Goodfellas, but this would be in my top 5. I would say this would probably be in my top 5, because I do like Taxi Driver, I do like this one. Casino I really like. That'd probably be my top 5. I don't know where... I probably go... Between Goodfellas and Wolf of Wall Street, it's hard for me to pick. Then Casino... then maybe Taxi Driver, then this one. So maybe that. There's other Scorsese films I like, but for top five, because I like Cape Fear, I don't mind that, and liked Last Temptation of Christ, but I'd probably say this would be my top five. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.